We're just gonna have to
Sorry,
like.
I didn't answer. I was a little busy. I didn't answer. Oh, geez, you're ordering me around already. You all set?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So first name is Joseph, Joseph. Last name Gregory, Gregory. Chief of Department, City of Albany Fire Department. The Albany Fire Department was dispatched to 241 Western Avenue for a report of a fire. We were dispatched at 11:48. Our companies arrived at 11. They were met by basically, the best I can describe it is a wall of fire up the front of the building. Companies went to work. We received reports that there were people still in the building. One person had evacuated. Firefighter rescued them and removed them. All victims have been transported to a local hospital for evaluation. That's the information that we have at this time. 239 Western Avenue. As you can see, there's extensive damage to 241, more so in the front of the front portion of the structure, but it does go a good ways into the building. The second structure, 239, that building on fire. The fire did extend up into the cock loft of both buildings. It was a difficult operation for our firefighters. Weather conditions are tough. The wind doesn't help us at all. Victims out, getting them to the hospital, putting the fire out. We dealt with a lot of stuff midday, so it was tough. So that's the information that we have so far.
Chief, do you know how many total residents there were inside the two buildings?
As far as I know, it was. As far as I was told, it was the 4 that were removed by our firefighters. I haven't heard of any other residents in the structures at the time that had self-evacuated. So
4 victims, no fatalities.
I have 4 victims right now. I don't know the status of the patients as they were transported, and as you know, we don't have that information right with this particular incident.
Wait a minute. Pets inside. Can you confirm that?
Actually, yes. I'm glad you brought that up. Thanks, Dan. They did remove one dog. They resuscitated one looking around, so that's they did a great job in doing all this. So we had a lot of things working in a short period of time, and they did a fantastic job in the operation.
My guess is that the investigation is only in its infancy. Can you comment about whether there were smoke detectors, whether there were adequate exits?
On that, I briefly spoke with our investigators. Again, as you mentioned, this is the beginning stages of the investigation. It was reported that there were smoke detectors that were activated during at the initial point. So that's a great point, and a great point to get across is to make sure, especially this time of year as we talk about it, make sure your smoke alarms work. Carbon monoxide detectors are operational. It's important for safety. Yes. So, we're moving along, but the firefighters, so we have no reported injuries to any firefighters at this point.
Any indication of where this fire started?
Right now, it's really so early into the investigation. We don't have any. The investigators are focusing on certain things. We have to still review. We work in conjunction with our police department and the police department investigators. So we'll review videotapes and witness accounts and the people, the residents that were in the building to get information to us. So, but the answer to the question in short is no, we don't have an exact location at this point that we can talk about.
Mayor, this fire comes exactly 3 weeks before Christmas. This is a difficult time. Not that there's ever a good time for something like this, but it's got to be in the thoughts and in the minds of many people in the city.
Well, I think it's a sober reminder of how important it is to be aware of any fire hazards that exist within a home, but also to be aware of exiting a building when those smoke detectors go off. We have gone years without any serious injuries in fires, and unfortunately this year we've had a number of very serious fires, and we have at least 2 individuals who were seriously injured in this fire. And so it's really important that we continue to get the word out. The chief and I were just talking at the press conference that we had about the snowstorm, of the importance of keeping space heaters away from anything that's flammable, especially being aware when people bring live trees into their house for the holiday season, that those all present hazards and potential fire hazards. And so we don't know the cause of this fire, but I think just generally it's a sobering reminder of how important it is to be vigilant and to be aware. And our prayers are with those who were impacted by this fire. And this also brings out the best of this community. We have neighbors who have come up and said, hey, if anybody needs a warm place to sit, if they need a charger for their phone, if they find additional animals, we've got crates for cats, we can take care of them. So this does bring out the best of the community as well.
These first responders are braving the elements right now. You had that conference the other day talking about snow and ice and just making sure that properties are accessible for emergencies like these. Talk about what it's been like trying to work on this fire with the ice, with the snow. Did any of that present to be a problem?
That's always a problem for us. Ice is for anyone. It's a slippery area. Obviously, water freezes quite frequently. Quite instantly when it hits there. Our firefighters are trained to do. This is what our job is, and these guys we do it well. We're a great fire department, and it just goes to show you what training does and what our firefighters can do, their dedication. So sure, the cold, the wind is all work against us, but that's our job. That's what we do.
We have that deep freeze coming up tomorrow, single-digit temperatures. Any message to the residents of Albany right now ahead of that?
Look, again, I think it's making sure that if you're using a space heater, that you're doing it safely. Don't try to warm your house with an oven. If you really are experiencing a serious situation, please call. We can find places for people to be warm. We know that it can be really challenging when it gets really cold, and we want to ensure that we're keeping people safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.